Here are 100, yes, 100 things that I wish I knew before I started lifting. Natural Hypertrophy put out a video titled 5 Things That I Wish I Knew Before I Started Lifting, and I got to writing and it just kept going, and it turns out it's 100 things. So hopefully this can help you in your journey. Number 1, boring workouts build more muscle than epic workouts. If you think you need an 8-hour arm workout in order to grow, you are wrong, and you are also misguided. Number 2, most Instagram workouts are useless because novelty drives clicks and drives engagement, both of which push the content out to more people. So these basic, boring workouts that are actually going to be effective are not actually going to be popular. Number 3, lifting is very safe, and generally the rates of injury are much lower compared to like team sports or something like that. But injury can happen. You are not immortal. Muscles are just meat. Meat can break. You can break. Fuck. Number 4, enjoy your training. It'll help keep it sustainable. Number 5, you don't need 400 grams of protein per day, bro. Yes, that's something I've done. I've actually been up to 500 grams or more. Not needed. Stupid. You only need about 0.8 grams per pound, or roughly 1.6 grams per kilo. Even that should be viewed as an upper limit of what you'll really need, and if you go slightly below that, that's okay too. Number 6, learn to listen to your body. Pain doesn't always mean there's a problem, but it's always worth paying attention to. Training through pain is not hardcore. It's stupid. Number 7, all that glitters is not gold. Shiny object syndrome will absolutely kill your gains. If you're chasing after different workouts every single week and you're just switching things up randomly, you're not going to get to where you want to go. That being said, you have to experiment in your training. If you're doing the exact same thing as you were 3 months ago, which is exactly the same thing as you were doing 3 years ago, you're probably not going to see the best possible results, because your training does need to adapt to you over time. Number 9, the main driver of fat loss is not hormonal, it is a calorie deficit. It doesn't matter what your insulin is doing. If you're consuming too many calories, you simply won't lose weight. Number 10, you can gain muscle in a deficit. It's just going to be a lot slower, and the leaner you get, the more challenging it is. Number 11, you don't have to eat every few hours. You just don't. Going a few hours between meals is totally fine. You're not going to lose muscle. It's not going to kill your gains. Nothing like that. All right, the next one, you don't have to be afraid of going to the gym. You might think, oh, like everyone's looking at me, everyone's judging me. No, they don't actually care. No one gives a shit about you. And if it seems like they're judging you, that's probably mostly in your head. Number 13, proper lifting technique will help you to get more out of the movements and allow you to train for longer before breaking down. That being said, proper technique is going to be a little bit individual, and not everyone is going to look exactly the same. Don't copy the textbook. Number 14, consistency is key. Number 15, work every muscle group. This is non-negotiable. You might not care about a certain area now, but you might in the future, and doing at least a little bit of work for every single area, at least to get those diminishing returns, the low-hanging fruit, is a good idea. Number 16, keep a training log. Sets, reps, weights used, maybe how you felt. Just write it down. Maybe keep it on a Excel or in Word. Keep it digitally. If you keep it digitally, make sure you back it up. Back it up. Number 17, it's better to get better than to get sore. Number 18, getting a pump is nice.
Knowing you, he will say now, coming.
But unnecessary. Number 19, the mind-muscle connection is a thing, but you might not feel the target muscle working on every single lift. If you're squatting for sets of 6 to 8, you might not feel your quads working in a squat, but trust me, they're still working. Don't look down on calisthenics. Especially as a beginner, you can build muscle just as effectively as with weights. And in fact, I would say even for most very, very advanced lifters, you can still train the upper body very effectively with just a pair of rings. Number 21, don't shy away from difficult movements, especially if someone is trying to convince you that an easy movement is going to be much more effective. They're probably trying to sell you a comforting lie. Number 22, the key to progress is progression. If you're not at least gradually improving week to week to week, and month to month to month, you're probably not going to be getting any bigger. Number 23, across a population, strength and size are somewhat correlated. For an individual, they are very correlated, especially for reps. No one gets big with the pink dumbbells. Number 24, effort is essential, but it has to be applied correctly. Number 25, have specific and measurable goals and work towards them on a regular basis. Number 26, the quality of your sets is more important than the quantity of your sets, but both have an impact. Still, prioritize quality first, then scale up the quantity as needed. Number 27, supplements are not needed. Most are overrated and over-marketed. Number 28, get a coach. This could be online, this could be in person, but a few months with a great coach will pay dividends for decades. Number 29, you don't have to train every day. I've done twice per day training. Not a great idea for 99.9% of people. It's just excessive. If you can't get jacked from 4 or 5 days per week, is adding a 6th day and a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th session really going to be the answer? Probably not. For 30, pants can break. So if you've been squatting a lot and your pants are feeling kind of tight, and then, you're in the middle of teaching an English class in front of 50 or 60 Chinese students, and you squat down and you feel your pants explode, and then you have to teach the rest of the class with your legs together because you don't want anyone to know that your adductors destroyed your pants. That's not good. Number 31, time off isn't a bad thing always. Taking a week or two off from the gym 1 or 2 times per year will definitely not impact your long-term progress negatively and can actually be a huge boon. Number 32, focus on the basics. You can check my first book for 100 or more exercises, which I would consider to be the basics that most people should be focusing on. So squats, bench presses, deadlift variations, Romanian deadlifts, front squats, pull-ups, pull-downs, bent over rows, chest-supported rows, those kinds of things, just, presses, etc. The basic compound movements that most people use to build the most muscle over the past 100 or so years. So if it's not on that list, give it a miss. Number 33, however, isolation work can be useful. It just shouldn't be the majority of your training plan. So, some arm work, some forearm work, some calves, maybe some direct ab work. These can be useful for filling in the gaps in your physique that will probably show up, but they should not be the meat of your training. Number 34, know your anatomy, but don't obsess over it. Number 35, use full range of motion most of the time on most lifts. Number 36, be able to explain why you are doing anything you are doing in the gym. If someone asks you why you're doing this many sets, this many reps, this exercise, this technique, this warm-up, you should have an answer right away, and if you don't, that's a problem. Number 37, just because you're using more weight doesn't mean you're building more muscle. 38, tactical exercise variation, useful. Random exercise variation, useless. Know the difference. Number 39, don't assess a coach or content creator solely based on their physique. 40, some lifts are party tricks. Cool to do, cool to show, but they might not necessarily be getting you towards your goals. Number 41, adding weight is just one form of progressive overload. You can add reps, you can add sets, you can slow down the tempo, you can add a pause. There are a myriad of ways to make a lift more challenging. Number 42, you don't need to max out every single workout. Number 43, you don't need to train to failure, let alone beyond failure, as a beginner. Focus on consistency and technique. However, number 44, especially on safe movements, if you want to grow muscle, you should be at least somewhat close to failure. And if the movement is safe, I would say erring on the side of closer to failure is probably a good idea. Number 45, getting stronger on a variety of lifts in the 5 to 15 or so rep range is the most surefire way to build muscle. Number 46, just because the scale is going up doesn't mean you're gaining muscle. Number 47, eat your vegetables even when you're bulking. Number 48, if you count calories, do it well or don't do it at all. Number 49, you don't need to stop all cardio when you are bulking. Cardio doesn't kill your gains, and might actually help them. Number 50, don't vilify any particular food. It doesn't matter if it has carbs or fat or protein or some, sodium. As long as it doesn't contain arsenic, you're good to go. Number 51, no macronutrient is bad. Yes, you can survive on low carb, but life is not about surviving. It's about thriving. Number 52, be extremely wary about extremists. 53, most things don't kill your gains until you watch a video about it killing your gains. Number 54, you don't need any accessories to start lifting. Okay, so you don't need straps, wrist straps, elbow sleeves, shoulder sleeves, squat suit, belt, knee sleeves, knee wraps, ankle supports, strap-ons, whatever. Those are not necessary. You don't need to look like a goddamn mummy when you're lifting the weight. Especially when you're starting out. 55, some prehab is okay, but if you're doing more than a few minutes per day, something is wrong. Number 56, protein powder is not special and is in fact inferior to food. The only benefits it might have are that it is convenient and it tastes good, although I would argue that real food actually tastes better. Number 57, always read past the abstract of a study. More importantly, look at their funding. Also, look at any conflicts of interest. 58, realize that everything on social media goes in waves and cycles. Often the pendulum goes between two extremes. Usually the truth is somewhere in the middle. And realize what is good is not always popular, and what is popular is not always good. Number 59, a food log is important, at least for finding out what is making you bloated and farty. Number 60, sleep as much as your body tells you to. So if your body tells you you need 9 hours, you sleep 8 and you're just, you wake up and you're kind of groggy, you need 9 hours. If you feel fine on 7 hours, it's probably fine. Number 61, alcohol is definitely not healthy and does impact performance and progress, but if you enjoy it, you can probably fit it in and still get to your goals, in most cases. Number 62, listen to the experiences of other people, but realize their experience might not apply to you, and also realize they might be full of shit. Number 63, read about training, but the same thing, someone else's experiences might not apply to you. Number 64, personal experience, even if it's n equals 1, is better than a study on other people of n equals 100, or 1,000, or 10,000, or 100,000, or a million. Your own experiences are absolutely valuable. 65, stretching is fine, but I would not expect any big jump in performance or muscular development from stretching. If you enjoy stretching, it's fine, but it is not a game changer. For 66, posture is overrated, especially when it comes to pain or performance. There is no perfect posture. There are a variety of postures that you can cycle in and out of that are extremely viable. For 67, the best warm-up is just doing the exercise with light weight. Baby. Number 68, learn the difference between pain and discomfort. Pushing through pain equals ER. Pushing through discomfort equals PR. PR, mateys. Number 69, don't compare yourself to others. We are all on our own journeys. Number 70, because you probably will, if you do compare yourself to other people, realize that a lot goes into performance and how you look other than just genetics or just hard work. It is a multifactorial equation. Number 71, you are probably not some wildly special snowflake who needs completely different training than every other person on the planet. Number 72, you can learn something from everyone that you meet in the gym or out of it. Realize that other people might train differently from you, and that's totally okay. They might have different goals, different injury histories, and just because you do something doesn't mean other people have to do it the same way, and vice versa. Number 74, there's more to life than lifting. Number 76, don't take gear in your first 5 years, and probably never. Number 76, if you do take the drugs, realize that you are actively harming your health to get something that most people don't care about anyway. If it's something you care about, fair enough, but if you're taking steroids to get women, you fucked up. Number 77, don't try to stay super frickin' lean all the time, or probably any of the time. Time spent lean is time wasted from a muscle building perspective. Number 78, there are no magic training splits. It's just a way to distribute the training stress. So don't think you're going to get wildly better results on a specific training split. There's nothing magic about it. Similarly, number 79, there are no magic exercises. Some are better than others, some are more suitable than others to target a specific area or for a specific person, for a specific goal. But to think that you need any exercise is just misguided. Similarly, number 80, there are no magic set and rep schemes. So you can do a 4x8, you can do a 5x10, you can do a 5x6, you can do a 6x8. You can chuck around a whole bunch of numbers. You could even do like 10, 8, 6, 5 or something like that. The sets and the reps are not where the magic happens. The magic is in the man. You the man. Or woman, you know. Don't cancel me. Number 81, progressive overload is both the target for the next session, but the result of the previous session. What you do between sessions is important. 82, get a variety of sources of information, not just one, not just two, not just 5. Learn from a whole bunch of people. Number 83, be generally skeptical of what anyone says, especially if it sounds too good to be true, and especially if they're asking you to open up your wallet or pants. Number 84, beware of the contrarian who says that everyone else in the industry is wrong. Again, they're probably trying to sell you something. Number 85, if you consume content from enhanced lifters, keep in mind that things are a little bit different for them. You can still garner some nuggets of wisdom, but you have to understand that their perspective is going to naturally be a little bit different. Sometimes you should do as much as you can. Other times, you should only do as much as you need. Those will probably be two very different things. 87, have goals, and then goals that support that goal. If a goal doesn't support that goal, it shouldn't be a goal. Number 88, Basement Bodybuilding also said the same one on his mistakes or things he wish he knew video. Take measurements. When people ask me how big my arms were or how big my legs were when I started out, I don't know. I can make a guess, but I don't actually have that information because I didn't know it was information that might be useful. Number 89, trust yourself. Often your first gut instinct is actually correct, and then you allow yourself to get pulled off of the right path by consuming too much information or overthinking things. Number 90, just because something is difficult does not mean it's effective. Something can be brutally challenging, but not help you get to your goals at all. You might feel like you're doing something when you're not. Similarly, number 91, just because something is complicated does not mean it's effective. Something can be convoluted, it can undulate, it can have a periodized structure, and you might be changing the height of the bar on your rack pulls every week, and you might be changing up your diet and cycling your calories, But at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff is just not what actually drives progress. It's worth experimenting with, but it can absolutely go too far. Number 92, science is a great start to finding your training formula, but a poor finish. Number 93, it's not just about getting the weight up, it's how you do it. It's also not just about how many sets you do, but how you do them. Number 94, time under tension is bullshit, but time under effort is definitely a thing. Number 95, passion is a prerequisite, but it's not enough. Lots of people have the drive and desire to get to their goals, but they don't. Being honest with yourself is the most important, but it's also the most difficult. The toughest conversations are the ones you have with yourself. Deep. Hashtag wisdom. Number 97, the Smith machine is okay. Like, it's fine. You know, it's not just for pussies. Number 98, balance your thinking and your doing and be able to have the wisdom to tell if you're heading too far in either direction. Number 99, just because advice is good in general doesn't mean it's good for you. And just because it's bad in general doesn't make it bad for you. There's going to be this bell curve with pretty much any advice, and you got to find out where you are in that curve. Number 100, genetics do matter, but don't sell yourself short. Nothing is predetermined, but a lot is determined by your determination. So if you found this helpful or at least mildly entertaining, consider grabbing a copy of my latest book. This is essentially the book that I wish I had as an intermediate lifter. My first book is what I wish I had as a beginner. This is what I wish I had in like year 2, 3, or 4 when things started slowing down. It lists a lot of my mistakes and just all the stuff I wish I knew. Also, Natural Hypertrophy asked that anyone responding to this video ask who they want to respond to them. So I would like to hear from Dave Maconi, Tom Lazorik, Stand to Strength, and Fazlifts on what do they wish they knew when they started lifting. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which hopefully will be shorter than this one. Peace.
You.